the show.
All right. Woo, let's change the attire first, guys. What's up, ladies and gents? How you doing? Mr. Poseidon here. It's always a busy time over here, ladies and gents. That's right, we're working it real hard. The live stream is continuing. 5 years coming this June, no Sundays missed. That's right. If that's not steadiness for you, I don't know what is. If that's not the grind, I don't know what is. Fishing is going on out there. Everybody's catching. Delco Joe's tournament, fantastic. I was following Wombat. I was following Law Walker there. I know Law Walker had a 46.5-inch fish. Wombat right behind him there. I don't know the inches on it. Wombat, if you're on, please put it up. Post it for the guys. Both of you guys had nice fish. I wish I was there with you guys. I had to work. I explained to Joe that I wasn't coming because of work. I had to do 2 doubles in between. Sorry I didn't make it, guys. I guarantee you, though, I will be there next year. I put those dates in already. Make sure you get them down, too. Let's go, let's go. Great tournament, and that is what I got to say about that. So, coming up on the show today, we got Dave, Bayside Dave, and also his buddy, Tommy Monaco, a.k.a. Tommy Venom. That's right, guys. We got a great show tonight lined up. These are the Jersey boys, and they got some tricks up their sleeves, let me tell you. Get ready. Get the notepads out. Get the inks ready to go. Make sure you write everything down. Why? Because I got a nice giveaway for you guys today. The giveaway, guys, today is going to be 2 seats. That's right. 2 seats on the FTA. If you guys don't know what FTA stands for, that's Fishing the Atlantic. That's Captain Calvin will be guiding us to the world of stripers in the back bays of Jamaica Bay. That's right. So I'll be giving away 2 seats. I bought those seats. I'm giving them away on the show tonight. There'll be 5 of us total. This is not a party boat. This is a charter boat. The high class of the high class. That's right. Stand by. Woo! What a show, what a show. So, how are you going to get those? There was no tagging people this week. You got to listen to everything I say on the show. So when I ask the question, the first guy to answer is the guy who wins. Now, listen to me carefully. Don't answer, do not answer if you're planning on not going on the trip. Please don't answer. No need to do that. Don't call me up and say, oh, Mr. P, I'm going to give away my ticket to my best friend. No. No. The winner of the ticket gets to go to the boat. That's right. Make sure you contact me immediately if you can't go. If you can't go, you're out. I can give it away on a future coming up show. Do not chance it. I don't want to hear it. I only want to hear that the winner is going on the trip. The trip has been set for May 13th. It's going to be a late night trip. So if you're working in the day, you're going to have a good shot to come. The boat departs 5 or 6 o'clock, most likely 6 o'clock. It'll be a 4-hour trip. Calvin has assured me, that's Captain Calvin of the FDA has assured me that if the trip is going good and we're catching stripers, like, 60, 70 pounders, he's going to stay out an extra hour. So don't worry about it. We're all going to be there. We're all going to have a good time. I'm going to document everything. Bring my GoPros, do the right thing. Let's go, let's go. We are going, baby. I can't wait for that. I'll be on the trip. Another gentleman, Bobby Chugat, who I grew up with all my life. We played a lot of hockey together. Great hockey player, Bobby. What else can I say? We've been everywhere. We've been clubbing together. We've done everything together since kids. His last name is Chugat. I like calling him Chuganati if he's out there and listening. Chuganati, my brother. Well, he's going to be bringing a buddy of his on that trip. And like I said, 2 seats are open. We're going to have a wonderful time. Just keep an eye on what I'm saying, what we're talking about, what our guests are talking about. That's the clue. What our guests are talking about. And at the end of the show, I'll ask a question. And like I said, the first guy to answer each question correctly, there'll be 2 questions. First one we'll ask, and then the next one we'll ask. You can't win two boat tickets. You can't get yourself on the boat twice. All right? And like I said, you can't give the ticket away, and you must be over 18, or you cannot come on the boat trip. If your father's invited, then that means there's 6 guys. That's not going to work. So just make sure you're over the age of 18 and you're in. Let me start off by saying hello to a few people here. I always do it. To my subscribers, the people who have gotten me here. Let's go, let's go. First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to Edwin Rivera. Edwin, that was such a cool thing you did for me. He did like a cartoon character of Mr. Poseidon fishing. I thought that was so cool, man. I loved it. Now I want to make a sweatshirt out of it. Anyhow, I'll probably be the only one wearing it. Bluff Lures, there he is. My man, Dan. Dan was down in one of the tackle shops over the weekend. I couldn't make that either. That's because I was working, kind of tough. But anyhow, Oski, Striper Life. What's up, Oski, up at the canal? I saw those couple of nice fish you got. Worm Way, Carl Newman, Joe Albanese. How you doing, Joe? Good to see you on the show. Always is. Joe's been a staple here, and I want you guys to know, Joe is the Capitan, or the president of the Hudson River Fishermen's Association, which is holding that derby right now, which I'm a part of. Anybody can join that derby. You don't, this is a bypass. If you tell them you know Mr. Poseidon, you don't have to be a member of the organization, Hudson River Fishermen. You don't have to become a member. So you're bypassing that only because you know Mr. Poseidon. You do have to pay, I think it's $40, and it's well worth it, man. You're going to get a nice prize at the end. The competition runs for about a month. If I'm mistaken, Joe, just let them know the details right now. Join, guys. It's a lot of fun. If you're out there fishing, and it involves all these rivers, the Hudson, the East River, all the connecting, Passaic, all these connecting rivers, all are a part of this tournament. But please join, because it's a lot of fun. I mean, if you're just fishing, it's great. But if you're fishing and now you catch a big fish, you got to measure the fish, you got to send it in. You'll get all the information you need from Joe Albanese. Get in touch with him or get in touch with me. We will definitely do that for Joe. And I am a part of this. So is guys like Chris Ploth and Rick Hernandez. They're all a part of this tournament because it's a lot of fun. So if you're fishing and you're not a part of a tournament, well, this is a nice tournament, or they like to call it the Derby, to be a part of. All right, let's say hello to a few more people. Elsa Valdez, how you doing? Good to see you. John Francisconi, I saw him. He's been fishing the Hudson. He had a nice fish yesterday. If you watch his channel, that's King of the Hudson. Check him out. The guy's out there fishing every day. Make some nice videos. Once in a while, you catch that nice fish, you put it on, and lots of fun. Anyway, Mike Kish, good to see you, Mike. How you doing? Nice to see you again. There he is, fishing the Atlantic. Good luck. All will be fishing out of Howard Beach, Queens, for an evening trip, fishing in Jamaica Bay for striped bass. Let's go. That's Captain Calvin right there. If you want to get a hold of him, he'll be on at the end of the show after our guest. He's going to do a quick call-in just to explain to you guys what his charter boat is all about. You can join a club there, get yourself on some nice levels there, and come and make some trips with him and go out. Frank Corridor, how you doing, buddy? Who else we got out there? Brock 308, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. They do good things, the HRAF. That's right, the HRFA. That's correct. Who else do we got? The Churchwood, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Hello, everyone. Joseph Kiley, how you doing? Chris Plott, there he is, the moderator for tonight. What's going on, buddy? You always make time for me, bro. Willie J's always out there doing the hustle, and that's the grind. Jay Flynn has been a member here, or a subscriber since the beginning of time, since we were 10 on this channel. Good to see you, James. You're always on every week. You're a good man. Good luck to you today also. Tom Hood, there he is. Tom Hood is the king of the kayaks. That's right. You were on that podcast with On the Water magazine. Fantastic. I watched it. You are the best. Outcast, what's up, buddy? Your month's coming up soon, end of May, beginning of June. I know I'm going to see you in Montauk. By the way, Outcast, I am working on my camper. I should have it this year. We're hoping to have it before the challenge so I can show it off to all you guys. Super stoked about that, man. I cannot not wait. Let's go, guys. I hope you guys are all out there fishing. This is the time of year. If you're by rivers, you should be out fishing. Oski's always doing this thing out there, fishing real hard. Oski, you are the man. Let's go, let's go. So who else we got out there? I think that's it for now. I think I said hello to everybody. All right, so I want to start off with our guests right now. Guests tonight are going to be Dave from Bayside. Dave and Tommy Monaco. That's a.k.a. Tommy Venom. I love that name. All right, here we go. Let's go, let's go. Let's introduce right now Dave and Tommy Monaco. That's right. Let's go, let's go.
Yay. Hi, guys. How you
What's
doing?
up, everybody? How you doing? Good to see you guys. Dave, how are you?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing,
What's going
Tommy?
on, brother?
I'm doing well, Mr. Poseidon.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Yeah,
I've been listening to you for a long time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tommy. I much appreciate that. So I was dying to have you guys on. Now, predominantly, guys, I want you to know these guys are Jersey fishermen. They're not just your everyday average Jersey fishermen. And I'm sorry if I'm putting any of the other Jersey fishermen down, but these guys are good. They're out there doing the hustle. They know how to fish the big fish, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. Let's start off with Dave right now. Dave, you've been on the show before. Nice to see you again. What's been going on?
Yeah, thanks, brother. Thanks for having me on again. Yeah, what's been going on? Slow start this year, man. Slow start. You know, here down in Jersey, South Jersey, here in Ocean County, we have. You know, I'm here on LBI. I live on the island here. Been living here for 12 years. Do a lot of surf fishing. But early in the season here, you know, when March 1st hits, that's when the season opens up down here in Jersey. And we fish back bays and rivers because that's where those fish are hanging out in the wintertime. They're mostly holdovers. Actually, they're mostly the smaller fish, you know, that spend the first few years of their life in the rivers and in the bays. They don't do the migration. And then we have holdover fish, you know, sometimes up to 40 inches that just stay in the bays and rivers for the winter, you know. So, you know, like I was saying, March 1st opens up the season. We know they're down, not in the bays yet. They certainly are not off the beaches. We go up in the river areas. There are places. What is it? The Mulca River feeds the Great Bay, which is one of the big, more popular areas, well-known areas down here that a lot of guys go fishing. And then even up in the Great Bay, there's a couple spots that we fish off of the sod banks. You know, at the mouth of the river, or maybe a half a mile or a mile down from the river in the back bays, where we start catching striped bass right off the bat. You know, most times for targeting striped bass early in the season, we're using bloodworms for baits. You know, they're slow, they're lethargic. It's cold water. They really haven't seen much bait around that they're chasing. They're just kind of, you know, foraging, you know, and I see that with striped bass, you know, all year round. Of course, they like to chase bait fish and, you know, schools of bait fish that they'll attack. But a lot of times when they're not finding bait fish, they're foraging around in the weeds. They're foraging around in the sandy bottoms. You know, I'm sure maybe some of you guys, if you hadn't noticed, when you pull some fish off the beach, that their noses are all scraped up for nosing around the sand and all that stuff. So, you know, that's basically what we're targeting them with early in the season, because they aren't chasing the bait fish and looking for anything that's swimming hard. Is basically just bloodworms, small hook rigs. These, yeah, of course, circle hooks are mandatory. I tell you, you know, this is a 2-hook circle rig, little floats on it, little 2-0 circle hooks. Take some big juicy bloodworms. Cut a few pieces of them off. You don't need the whole bloodworm all balled up. 2-inch little pieces of bloodworm you pop on the hooks there. You throw them out there and just wait for them to come on by. It just, this year has been just such a slow start. I think because of the cold water that has been hanging out for too long.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You know, we have this cold weather. We have these cloudy, windy days that just last for days and days and weeks and weeks.
Today,
and it really hasn't warmed up the water yet, you know? So we're not seeing big schools of fish hanging out in areas just feeding. You know, they're kind of cruising around looking and staying low and staying and looking for shallower areas to hang out in and stuff. So, you know, normally when we're going up, you know, to these sod bank areas, you know, fishing for bass early in the season, you know, of course, there are a lot of small ones, which we don't mind the catch and release, love the action. But, you know, we'll go up there and sometimes, you know, sessions are about 2, 3, 4 hours sometimes, and we'll pull in a couple dozen fish, you know. But this year, yikes, we're not seeing those schools of fish hanging out feeding. You know, you're there for a couple hours, and then bang, 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 you hit a couple, and then they're gone. I tell you, they're just in small schools. They're cruising around looking for food. They're lethargic. I don't know. They don't have the energy. I really don't know the answer. But we just see what the conditions are. We don't see a lot of bait fish schooling up. We don't see the birds working out there in the bays. And it's just the idea of, all right, here we are for a couple hours, hit a couple fish. Now we're not hitting them again. It's obvious that a school came by and they're not hanging out feeding. So it's just a little, a little disheartening. But you know, I'm positive. I have positive feelings about the water warming up and fish starting to hit, man.
Right, I hear you, Dave. So basically, yeah, we're all pretty much experiencing this throughout the fishing world, where striped bass are just not as abundant as they used to be. They've always been the elusive fish. That's the way they'll always be. But they're more than just a little elusive these last few years, maybe longer than that. The population, everybody feels that they've just gotten smaller. Can you shut that door, hon? So basically, Dave, now I'm going to switch over. We'll get right back to you again. I love that little start on there on the back bays where they're hanging out, the mud banks, chasing the schoolies, being great to catch schoolies. But as you said, they're not as abundant as they used to be. So moving on over now, I want to head over to Tommy Monaco. That's a.k.a. Tommy Venom. That's right, man. Don't get too close to this guy. It'll be the last time you ever get too close to him. But anyway, Tommy, you're my first time on the show right now. So a lot of people don't know you, and I want them to know you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Tommy, how this all got started for you, this fishing world thing that we're all addicted to.
Yeah. Once again, Mr. Poseidon, it's a real pleasure to be here. I love the set. I wish my room looked like that. It's awesome, man. So the name Tommy Venom, I wanted to be a WWF wrestler when I was little. So that's where that came from. And it just carried over into my adult life. I'm a guitar player, and I recorded on several albums went way back when I was younger, and I used Tommy Venom for my music career. So it's just one of those things that's stuck around forever. So
that's pretty cool, dude.
Tommy Venom is what I go by.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
What's that?
I said that's pretty cool, man. I like that. I didn't know that. So please continue on that fourth guitar string there. Go for it.
Yeah. So I live in South Jersey. I live in Mystic Island, and I've been fishing South Jersey all my life. I started fishing with my grandfather and my father, fishing in the Great Bay when I was really, really young. Some of my earliest fishing memories are hanging out at 131 in the Great Bay, fluking, doing drifts with them. And something I really enjoyed when I was a kid, and, continue to enjoy as an adult. I'm 41 now. 41 now. So
well, you look like you're 31, if that makes you feel better. And I'm being honest. I thought you were in your 30s.
Makes me feel better.
Yeah, good. So I got to ask you one question. You spoke Fluke right now. Just off the top of your head, tell me really quick, what's your favorite Fluke rig?
My favorite Fluke rig is probably an SNS, a 1 ounce white pearl SNS big eye bucktail with like a gulp teaser on it.
Nice. So an SS bucktail with a gulp teaser on there.
Yeah, SNS before they went out and then came back.
Yes.
Like one of the bucktails I want to talk about later if we get the opportunity.
Sure, of course.
These are the old SNS bucktails, man, and they just they kill for striper and they kill for fluke. They got these big long hackle feathers in the back, and after they went out, they just never made them the way that they used to make them. So when I knew they were going out, I bought like 100 of them because I'm a maniac. So I use them for fluke.
You're not the only one, man. I still have a bunch of jetty surf casters, which are my favorite bucktails. They just give you that thick ass bucktail on there. Yeah. And I still got them in packages. I won't ever give those away. Those are for me because obviously they're not out there anymore. So go ahead, Tommy. Continue on your fishing. I know you were talking about fishing for fluke. Continue on that, buddy.
Yeah, so I'm mostly a striper fisherman down here in South Jersey. So I fish the Mullica River quite a bit with my buddies, Mark, Brian, and George. We've got a little fishing group called the Mystic Island Misfits. And so we're out on the Mullica River and on the sod banks in the Great Bay and the sod banks behind the south end of LBI, doing the best we can. You know, we don't get the biggest fish down here, like you guys up in New York, or even like, you know, the Raritan Bay area in New Jersey. But, you know, we try to have a lot of fun with it. You know, a good day for us is, hey, if we catch like 25 schoolies, that's awesome, man. So we fished light tackle, we fished for smaller fish, we're targeting smaller fish. You know, but to your point earlier and to Dave's point earlier, we have definitely had a slow start. You know, in all honesty, this sounds horrible, but I only caught one fish in March, which is insane. It's a total bust of a season so far. At least March was.
You know, but we have to look at the good on this, and what do I mean by that? It could be a later season, right, guys? It could come around and really give us a nice kick later on. At least that's what I'm hoping. My tournament for the Montauk is always the third week. People say, oh, why don't you make it earlier? Well, I'm sure glad that I made it later this year. That's all I got to say on that. So hopefully that will work out. Yeah. So Tommy,
we're going through this.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We're going through the same thing. It's just you know, a lot of waiting around. You know, we can't get anything to chase lures. There's definitely there's a significant drop in the population. There's not much bait around right now, and so it's just been a slow spring so far.
You guys don't have any bunker back there? I heard you guys had bunker back there in the back bays. Is that true or not?
In the Great Bay, I haven't really seen like a substantial amount of bunkers since 2022. So you're talking a few years now.
Yeah, wow, dude, holy smokes. Yeah, that's kind of rough, man.
Yeah, we do get them coming in. You know, the bunker are coming in. We did see a few keeper-sized fish and actually some oversized fish caught here in the bay, right off of LBI, right off the shores of LBI here the past couple weeks with adult bunker in their bellies. So they are there. It's just that the schools aren't as big as they've been. Wow. You know, they're not infesting the bays as much as they've been anymore. But yeah, you know, it's like Tommy was saying, what these slow starts have been happening for a few years here now. But you know, it's a late start is what happens, because once May starts rolling around here and even into June and a little bit into July, you know, we do some really good fishing off here.
Smoking fishing in Jersey, baby. Let's go. Keep it up, Dave. Go.
I mean, we might not get the big amount of the large, you know, high 40s, 50-inch fish that you guys get up north, but we do get them here. Yeah. And we have caught them. It's usually fish in the mid 30s up to 40, you know, low 40s inch fish that we get here off the beaches and in the bays. But you know, those big cows, man, I guess you got to go out to real deep water for those babies.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. And I got to tell you, when you guys say, oh, you know, you guys don't get as big fish as us. No, Dave. I've seen quite a few times in the past on those Jersey beaches. You guys have been showing up with some 45-pound whopper fish. It's not like we show up with 50s all the time either. You know, most of the bigger fish are caught in that 40-pound range. You do get 50s. I'm not going to say no.
Oh, we get them.
And honestly, if you're down in the Delaware, you got to shop for a 60 there. Let me tell you something right now.
Yeah. No, we do get them. I had a couple guys out on the lighthouse walkway in the Barnegat Inlet by where the jetty is, fishing with live eels at night, and they're pulling in 50, 55-inch fish all night. You know, not dozens of them, but you know, 2-3 fish, you know, in the 50, 55-inch range. So a lot of times, you know, down here off the island, you know, surf fishing is great, sod bank fishing is great. But I tell you that jetty along the Barnegat Inlet, man, we get some nice fish cruising along those jetty rocks, man.
Yeah, I know you do.
And sometimes you get out there and you just smash them.
I got one good fish over there, man, a few years back, and that was right there on those jetty rocks. And then I just kept fishing there, and I never got anything again. But anyhow, I did get a nice one there once, man. That was nice.
They cruise around in there, and there's one thing I learned from Tommy. You can target striped bass year round down here, man. In the bays, along the inlets and everything. You know, people think, you know, it's hot summer, the migration has moved north and all that stuff, which is true. But there's always the resident fish, the holdouts, whatever you want to call that that they are always here. And a lot of times when I'm up on the jetty fishing in the summertime for Fluke or whatever, if I go late in the summer when tog season opens in August, I always see boats by the North Jetty there targeting striped bass all summer long.
Now,
because here.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to jump off that conversation. I want to go back to Tommy. So, Tommy, I want you to tell me a little bit about that summertime fishing, because I talked about this with you yesterday a little bit. And tell me a little bit about that summertime fish, because basically when summertime rolls around, most of our eyes are rolling and we're like, all right, season's over until September again or end of August. Tell me a little bit about that summertime fishing, about catching some of those fish. How you doing it there? How?
Yeah, I mean, it depends where you are, right? Like I've had success with striper out front during the summer with sand fleas, like just throwing sand fleas on a circle hook, throwing them into the wash and just letting it tumble around with a real light setup, light fluoro, light braid. I've had some real good success with that and actually caught like some, really nice fish. In the back, it can be a little bit more difficult. My buddy Mark, he's a fantastic bass fisherman. He really keyed in on, he kind of cracked the code a few years ago going out like under real specific conditions, like in my area, like a high tide in the morning seems to be just about right with like a small topwater plug, like a tsunami talking popper. This is one of the smaller ones, the electric school bus popper. Sure. And first light, you throw a little topwater in, a little creek or around a point that seems to, be filled up with water. And, he's done really well in the back
nice.
During the summertime. Up to a point, once that water hits like, 76,
no, it's over, man.
Higher towards 80, like then it's like almost a total shutdown.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, you really at that point have to like, you're out there. If you want to catch them, you're out in the middle of the night, or you're going to like real deep holes trying to jig them up in cooler water.
Yeah, I was on the rocks there on the Barnegat Lighthouse, and I saw some guy scuba dive, and all of a sudden, it was Dave, and he had a spear gun, and I'm like, Dave, what are you doing? He goes, Eric, the water's 80 degrees. I'm going out deep for them now. So I was like, Dave, way to go, brother. Dave, scuba diving for striped bass on the Barnegat Inlet. Dave, I'm just kidding about that, Dave. But anyhow,
I was gonna say not me, Dave.
No, I know. I'm
me.
teasing around.
Yeah, no, we see guys. We see guys spearfishing there all the time, man. There's a couple of friends of ours that we've gotten to know pretty well who do dive those rocks constantly with their snorkels and their masks and everything like that, and with their spears. And I've seen guys pull up some big fish out of those rocks, man.
Wow,
it's pretty cool.
Wow, that is pretty cool. Guys, just for 1 second, I want to say, I see Delco Joe out there. Delco, I just wanted to congratulate you on a wonderful tournament. That was a lot of work for you. I'm seeing that you're saying your shot. I believe you. You were out there posting pictures of fish at the same time, working on Bill Wetzel's automobile, getting that ready for him. You did a great job. That tournament was great. I spoke to quite a few people, very happy about that tournament. I promise you, Joe, that I will be there next year. I do not want to miss that. Plus, I heard Wombat's cooking was outstanding, and I definitely want to get a bite of that sausage there that he was cooking over there. That looks like good stuff. Anyhow, what else did I want to say? Delco, happy birthday also to Delco Joe. It was his birthday. Happy birthday to you. I see Dom AZ also out there. Dom, nice golf swing today. Enjoyed that. I watched a little bit of the Masters also today. Good stuff. Back to the guys here. Tommy, we're here speaking with Dave. That's Dave, Bayside Dave, and Tommy Monaco. That's a.k.a. Tommy Venom. These guys are Jersey surf fishermen. They also fish the boats. I know you do, Tommy. You're on the boats, and I know you do also, Dave. I saw the pictures of both you guys. So I want to talk a little bit about fluking in the summertime right now, because this year I'm definitely going to get into a little bit more of that, especially knowing Calvin now from the FTA, Fishing the Atlantic. I want to go out with him a few times. But I want to talk about catching fluke from the beach. How is catching fluke from the beach there in Jersey? Because I don't know. Tommy, you could start off.
This is more Dave's specialty, I think. So
gotcha.
I'm a sod bank fisherman, so
all right, no worries
about catching fluke.
Let's just go ahead.
But I will say, I mean, I love all kinds of fishing. So, you know, I do fish off the beach for Fluke. Last year was horrible. It was probably like the worst year ever for Fluke off the surf.
Wow.
Prior to last year, I mean, in LBI, it was fantastic. Like I always had really good. I've won tournaments on LBI before, so I've always had really good luck. You know, mid island, you know, just jigging in the troughs for Fluke, either throwing a chicken rig or like bucktails into the wash. You know, I've always done really good with that. But last year, I'm hoping it was an anomaly, and that it kind of returns to where it was this year.
Right, but right now, speaking to you guys yesterday, you sounded like champion fishermen, and all of a sudden today there's no fish in Jersey. You guys are bullshit artists. Let me tell you something. You don't want anybody fishing there. That's what it is. But nah, I'm kidding, guys.
No,
I know the story. Let's jump over to
Eddie Bucktails wants to know, what is a sod bank? What's a sod bank?
Yeah, a sod bank. Good question. A sod bank. I guess I just take it for granted because I have so many
Right.
sod banks around me. A sod bank is like all the land and the grass you see,
Correct.
kind of around the back bay, and it's awesome because over time the sod erodes and it falls off in really big clumps, and so those clumps they you know go sink to the bottom, and it actually creates a lot of structure that a lot of fish hang around in and hide out in. And all that mud, all of that sediment, it's a great place for bait to hatch, and it's a great place for bait to hang.
100%.
Yeah, it's just I've always enjoyed fishing sod banks.
I want to
literally catch anything.
I want to add to that sod bank thing, Eddie. So you fish the pier in Piermont. If you look, if you're fishing on the south side, Eddie, and you look to your right, we have all that tall grass there, all that marsh. You know, it breaks off, like he says, falls in. It's like a sod bank there. That's what it is. A lot of guys go fishing there, but I'm telling you right now, I've tried it before. You got to really be careful. You got to stick to the edges of those marshes because that mud you can automatically sink in it. I sank in it up to my waist. I thought my life was over. I kept sinking. This is what quicksand is all about.
Oh my God.
I just laid to my side, and when I finally got out, you don't understand what I smelt like. I getting in my truck that day, washing down my waders with whatever towels I had. It was absolutely gross, but that's what sod banks are, and I'm pretty sure you guys are pretty understanding on what I'm saying right now because it is. It can become it can be dangerous too sometimes. You got to know where you're stepping and be very, very careful.
100%, and you got to fish with a buddy if you're going to do it. It's always smart to go out with somebody else.
That's why I didn't go out with somebody that day, by the way. But go ahead.
Yeah, once you get that smell on you, you're going to make sure you don't make another mistake anytime soon. Because
I'm not going.
You're 100% right.
I'm not going.
There's an old movie from the 80s with David Bowie called The Labyrinth, and in The Labyrinth, there's this whole one of the scenes takes place at this place called the Bog of Eternal Stench. That's like every sod bank ever. Just the Bog of Eternal Stench.
We saw that, didn't we, honey? Yeah, remember I was saying anyway, that's another story, David Bowie. Got to know who David Bowie is, man. That goes perfect with him, those sod banks. Anyhow, other than that, so going back to Fluke, guys, I want to start off again with Tommy, and then we'll jump over to Dave. You know, what is your, some of your favorite rigs you're fishing with, you're fishing for Fluke. So I understand you could fish bait with them, frozen bait, live bait. The Killies days are over. And I always ask everybody, why don't they fish with Killies anymore? And the number one answer I get back is it's too expensive. So I know I caught my biggest Fluke ever, 31.5 inches, 10.5 pounds, field 6, Jones Beach, which was incredible. I did not know. I was targeting striped bass. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was fishing all night. I was just laying on my towel, and all of a sudden I saw my rod go down. But when I picked it up and I started reeling in, I felt like literally, I know we call them doormats, but I felt like I was just reeling in a heavy doormat. And I was just reeling. I remember when I saw the wave and it was totally black, I thought it was seaweed. But as it got closer to me, that's when the fighting started. And when I reeled it up on the beach, it truly was a doormat. I don't think I'll ever catch another Fluke like that off the beach. It was amazing because, let me tell you, Fluke will go for bunker chunk, as you guys know. They like that, and it's always a bigger fluke that's going to go for that piece of chunky meat. But I want you guys to tell me again, Tommy, what do you like fishing with as far as if you're using bait? What would you like to use, and how do you rig it when you go fishing for a fluke?
Yeah, so I've got a couple of different setups depending on whether I'm on land or on a boat. If I'm on a boat, like I said, I go for that 1 ounce, pearl white S&S bucktail first, and I put a usually a small gulp minnow on it or a gulp grub.
Right.
My other setup from a boat that I just started using in the last couple of years, my buddy Brian really turned me onto this, was it's a gulp fluke with this sounds ridiculous, with a 1 ounce ball jig, a gulp fluke on it, like 4 or 5 inches, and then a minnow with that. So I do fish minnows or kellies, whichever you call
them.
Wow. And we send them down into, the deeper holes that, we find in the boat. And lo and behold, man, I don't know what it is about that combination, but it works like a charm. Maybe the gulp with the minnow is just too irresistible. If I'm on the sod, I'm throwing real light bucktails, like a 1/2 ounce, because when you're fishing from the sod from land, it's really easy to get snagged on all the sod that's fallen into the water. So you want something that you can control really quick and be really nimble and agile with. So I'm throwing like 1/2 ounce white magic tail bucktails with almost anything on them. I mean, my buddy Mark, he dyes fluke bellies. We experiment with all different colors. I'll use gulp. I'll use, I don't know, minnows are a little awkward to throw. So I'm not really throwing minnows, but.
Wait, no, don't do that.
Go ahead, honey.
No, don't do that.
Put that back.
Hold on.
Put that back. Sorry, hold on, guys. Sorry about that, Tommy.
Press something.
Okay,
else.
go ahead.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so, as we were saying, I want to switch over to Dave now. What would you use as far as bait, Dave? Boat and land.
Well, basically, I'm a surf fisherman, and I do go out on boats a lot as well, but I'm mostly off the surf. I love fluke fishing off the surf in the summertime. That's my bag, man. I live 2 blocks from the beach. Summer comes rolling around. I'm out there on the surf 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. I got my fanny pack. I got my rod, and I'm in bare feet and shorts, and I work the surf till about 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, we start getting the people showing up on the beach with their towels and their umbrellas. I put in about 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 hours of fishing, and I got my stringer, and I'm walking off the beach while people are showing up. I'm going to go home and clean up my clean up my fish and have them for lunch. But Definitely. What I mostly like to use, I'm very simple when it comes to fishing the surf. I used to use a full 2-hook chicken rig, but now I'm down to just using 1 dropper loop. The only hook that I use now is a 6.0 bait holder hook. I like the long shaft on the bait holder hooks. Mm-hmm. I like that it has the bait holder barbs on there because
100%.
It keeps the gulp on there. I mostly use a 5-inch gulp grub, depending on what conditions are. I always start out with the pink shine or a white. I always start out with white with whatever I do, unless this, the water's a little cloudy, a little dirty. The fish have a hard time seeing what's going on in there, so I'll throw a chartreuse on there, and the fish really spot the chartreuse pretty well. But that's my main thing. I got my single dropper loop with my 6.0 hook with a 5-inch gulp grub on there. I only use a 1-ounce bank sinker on the bottom. I usually only will put on maybe 1.5 ounces if it's getting rough surf. The reason why I went to the 1 hook, I don't know. I get more distance out of it because here in LBI, and I don't know how it is on all the other beaches. LBI, we have. It's a trough that is formed between the beach area, and we have sod banks that run. Not sod banks. We have what are they called, Tommy? That help me out here. Sandbars. Oh my God, we're talking about sod banks. I got it in my head.
I thought you were going to say girls swinging off poles for a minute, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. No, we have sandbars that run probably about 30 to 40 feet off the beach, and between the beach and the sod banks, a nice trough is formed.
Yeah.
And those sandbars aren't solid the entire 18 miles of the island. They have breaks in that we call holes.
Sure.
You know, you have a sandbar that runs for maybe a couple blocks, then it dips down into a deeper hole for maybe a block or two, and then it'll come back up to another sandbar and run, and then there'll be a trough between there. Because what happens is when waves break in over sandbars, they lose their energy and they can't just break past the sandbar, so they start to funnel in and create what's called a hole. It'll chew apart the sandbar until it has an opening to continue to go back out.
100%.
And a lot of times, you hear, you got rip currents and all that stuff. Well, that's how the rips are formed as well. You have all that water dumping into troughs on both sides of a hole, and then they have to come in either way to go back out to the ocean. So that's where those holes are. A lot of times you're fishing the trough areas. You're not fishing those holes because the fish come in and they run along the sandbars and they hang out in those troughs. Sometimes those sandbars are out there, 30, 40 yards sometimes. If they're out that far, a 2-hook chicken rig isn't going to cast out that far, especially when you're using a light tackle rod. So I backed my way down to just using the single hook, the single bait. I do really well with that.
Mr. Poseidon, this all sounds very technical, but when Dave's on my boat, he just throws a dead stick over the back and
Dead stick Dave, that's me. Yeah.
At least now we're hearing the truth. Finally we're getting a little info out of you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, when I'm working the beach, when I'm working those sod banks, you have to find out where the fluke are laying. You want to cast out to where the sandbars are. You drop them right down. It's a very slow retrieve when you're fishing for fluke. Very slow. You just keep the line tight, nice and slow. Give it a little jerk. Absolutely. Give it a little jerk. You don't want to be going fast, or if the fluke are there, you're just going to go right over the top of their heads. They have to see it. They have to get interested in it, and then they're going to come up off the bottom. They're going to follow it. And a lot of times when you're fishing for fluke off the surf, your hits are pretty close to the wash, pretty close to the last wave that crashes, that runs up on the beach. And people think, well, that's where the fluke are laying. Yes, they might be laying right there, but a lot of times they're laying out deep and they're following your bait in. And then when they see, oh, there's the wave, I better grab it before it gets out of the water. So I find that a lot, that you're not going to get the hits way out. I'm not going to say you're not, but there are a lot of times you don't get the hits way out where you're casting. You get the hits closer in because the fluke is following the bait, and then they finally, grab it and go. Other times, there are areas on the island here where on the north end, the town is called Barnegat Lake. It's right alongside the jetty. And there's a big pocket there that we call it. It's about 3 or 4 blocks long, and there's no sandbar there. There's just an old jetty that runs under the water on an angle that goes from the beach line all the way out to the tip of the new jetty that's out there. And in that area, it's a big pocket of water. There's no sandbars there, so you got a couple hundred yards of water there. And sometimes the fluke aren't laying in close; they're laying out far. So that's where I get my distance with my single hook rig. I don't really use bucktails off the beach. I'm not saying they don't catch. I have used them. They do work really well, but I'm just very simple. I like my sinker on the bottom, my hook about 1.5 foot up with my gulp on there, and that's basically how I fluke fish off the surf.
Definitely. I'm simple, too. I don't use prophylactics anymore. It's very simple in my life. That's all I got to say about that. Anyhow, I wanna continue. Just a second, guys. Take a 30-second break just to say hello to some of the latecomers here. Beast River Rose, good to see you. Turtle Cove Tackle, how you doing, guys? Turtle Cove Tackle, as you know, some of the best equipment you want to have on your belts. I don't care what kind of belt you're wearing. Turtle Cove Tackle is the equipment that you should have on. Thanks, Kenny, for doing all that you do. That's the big K. Thank you very much. Kix McGroin says they are speaking the truth. Back Bay Stripers in South Jersey is terrible. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, too. They're not the only ones to tell me that. But I had to bring that up just to have them tell you guys a story. David Matthews, question number 1 to win the big trip. How did Mr. P almost die in quicksand? Yes, Dave, that will be the question. And I'll see you on that boat trip, no doubt about it. Yes, sir. Wormway, how you doing? Good to see you. Karen Nolan, how you doing? Yo, Tyler and Juan, you in here. There's Juan Gonzalez right now. Juan.
Thank you, Juan.
Juan is a very good guy. Juan is the winner of the Montauk Striper Challenge this year, 2024 defending champion. He'll be there at this year's tournament. I just want to say to Juan, you're a special guy. You're a good guy. You really give back too much. I have to say that part about you, but we thank you for the donation. Guys, look, we work off donations on this channel. You can buy them through Super Chats and help us out. I do not care if they're $1, if they're $2. I don't care. But a donation does help. If you do not want to make a donation, please hit the like button. The like button helps me out tremendously.
And it's free.
And it's free. Thank you for that, honey. It's true, though. The like button is what gets us out there and gets us on that algorithm. When people say, I don't know what the algorithm is all about. You want me to tell you what it's all about? Have people hit the like button. Definitely hit that like button and help us out in that way. But also, we do take donations. Juan Gonzalez, congratulations. We'll be seeing you again this year at the Montauk Striper Challenge. For anybody else who's attending. Oh, and by the way, for the challenge, there are 6 bonus boxes left. I want to let everybody know out there. Once the bonus boxes are gone, they're gone. You're not getting any more bonus boxes. There is no extras. There is nothing. Nothing will ever change my mind. That's it. I have to be fair. It's to the first 100 people that get them. Those bonus boxes are gold. If you do not think they're worth it, then you don't get one. They are going to be worth about $250 a pop this year. One of the boxes will contain a 200 SX X2 Series reel by Van Stoll. Another box will contain a 7-inch titanium plier, also by Van Stoll. No, they're not going to be the actual reel and plier in there. There'll be a ticket there that says you won the Van Stoll reel, you won the Van Stoll plier. You come, you give it to us, and you will get that Van Stoll delivered to you right there in your hands live. Guys, thank you so much for the Super Chats. Thank you also for becoming members. To become a member here, as you can see, Bis River, welcome to the Spoof Crew. Juan Gonzalez, member for a month. Welcome to the Spoof Crew. It's $3 a month. I remember one time a guy called me after the show, and he said to me, Mr. P, listen. He goes, I want to join. I want to become a member, but $300 a month? I was like, no. It's $3 a month. That's it. That's all it is $3 a month, and you become a member. You help us out in any way. And all that money I get, which is being saved on the YouTube account, I use it for the challenge every October that comes by. That's what it's there for. It's for you guys. I do everything for you guys. The Montauk Striper Challenge, the prizes are up to $60,000 in cash and prizes. It really is an amazing tournament. We also have the longest and most accurate cast. The longest cast this year is owned by Delco Tackle. That's Joe Pinto, who's on tonight. He cast it at 147 yards. Good luck to the guys who want to compete against him next year. This guy knows how to cast. Good luck on that one. And I also put in the most accurate cast for the guys that don't make that longest cast. You got a shot at the most accurate cast. So the longest is $2,000 to the winner, and the most accurate is $1,000 to the winner. And we got lots more things going on. Guys, if you got girlfriends or wives that don't come fishing with you, I suggest you tell them about this. They get to enter the treasure hunt we have for the girls. And that works as if they don't have to join. If they got a spouse that joined, or boyfriend, whatever, that joined, or a girlfriend that joined and wants a boyfriend to be in the treasure hunt, they get to join for free. And each one, we pair them off. So they do the treasure hunt together. They go through a 10-store selection that me and my wife do. Every store they walk in, they get trinkets, whether it's an ashtray, a shot glass, or whatever that we had bought for them. They get that. And they get a clue in some of the stores, a letter clue. So what happens is at the end of the tent store, when they get the final clues together, they unscramble it, and it's a restaurant that comes up. That's the restaurant that we'll be eating at. It's a 2-day hunt, by the way. The second day, they meet in the pizzeria. They all have a couple of slices and a soda each, and then they go out for the second part of the journey. Again, they're paired off in girls, and the first 2 girls to show up in that restaurant and see me and my wife are the winners. And each one, I said, each one wins $500 gift certificate to Sephora. That's the makeup store. A lot of guys called me. Well, not a lot, but 2 guys called me last year, and they were like, Mr. Poseidon, I want to thank you so much. My wife never comes fishing with me. Thank you so much. And I explained to them, I'm like, well, listen, brother, once in a while, you got to buy lipstick for the girls. So this way she'll go fishing with you a lot more than just the treasure hunt. Got to take care of the ladies that really aren't into fishing. You got to find other ways that you can get them to the beach with you, definitely. Also, I want to say hello to the professor out there, Charles Murray. What are we casting, diamond jigs or slugs? That'll come up in the question right now. Back to the boys. Brock 38, treasure hunt, shout, be at bar crawl.
Should be.
That my wife will want to go. There you go. That's a good one.
So this long distance casting competition,
yes.
I got a guy I need to sponsor and get in because he puts plugs into low Earth orbit. My buddy Brian.
Brian, yeah.
He's a welder at Viking Yachts, so he's a big, strong dude. And
okay,
man,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, but let me tell you a little bit about that story. So there were quite a few guys. There was a guy that actually flew in from California. You guys know him all, Hoka Hay Plugs. I think he came in 3rd place in the long distance cast last year, but I had it asphyxiated in my head that he was going to win because all I heard was, dude, I'm cast and that's my best part about me. So I thought he was going to win, but I saw Joe go at it, 147 yards. That's a tough number to beat out there. Tell your buddy good luck and tell him to get his welding guns ready because I know Joe can cast. And we're going to do that also in the Jersey Striper Challenge. If you guys haven't heard anybody from Jersey this year, that competition is going to be held the 13th, 14th, and 15th. We have $25,000 in November. And we have $25,000 in prizes there. It's a 3-day challenge. It'll be the same thing except for the treasure hunt. We're really not affiliated with that area quite yet, but this year we're going to do some investigating, and hopefully next year we'll be able to add that in for the wives and girlfriends who want to definitely join that. Look, guys, all I want to say about Jersey is this year and many years that I've been going fishing there, there are a lot of Jersey surf fishermen, and there are a lot of Jersey fishermen. And the last few years, I've been down on the Thanksgiving weekend. My God, that's all I got to say is, my God, every inch you're moving, there's like fishermen on the beach. There are more cars on the beach than there is in Montauk fishing. It's quite amazing. And a lot of guys were coming up to me, oh, why don't you make one for the Jersey, Jersey. So I really thought about it. That was last year. I decided no, but this year I said, hey, let me do it. So we're going to start our first one this year. I'd like you guys to spread the news there, Dave, to your club and so on. Tommy, hopefully I'll be expecting to see you guys there this year. It's a really nice tournament. It's a tournament about getting together, and we're going to have an awards night also that'll be held at Hook's Bar and Grill in Seaside. It's going to be really a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of great giveaways from some of the top brands out there, and I'm not just talking about just one lure. I don't do that. I always say to myself, what would make me excited? Well, give away some Van Stalls. So we'll be giving away another 3 Van Stalls at that party there. Should be a really, really good time. Couple of ODM rods, a couple of different rods, even more reels, and tons of plugs that people are going to donate. We're going to put those into baskets. So when you win, you can win a 10-plug package and so on. But I can't wait for that. Everybody also gets a drink and an appetizer from the menu. It's not a special menu. We got suckered the first year when we went in Montauk, and they gave us a special menu. But by that time, it was too late. And I said, never again will that happen. Because when you get something from the menu, no matter what it is, you're always getting a nice, good chunk of food on there. And that's what I want. I want everybody to enjoy themselves fully. So that's what it's all about. It's about Mr. Poseidon giving. I don't make any money on these things at all. If you guys have any idea, I make no money. That's how the Montauk Challenge, I'm able to get it up to $60,000 in cash and prizes. That's how I'm able to do the first Jersey Striper Challenge at $25,000 in cash and prizes. You have to be a real stupid knucklehead not to want to make money, and that's who I am. I have a disease of wanting to give away my life. It's been like that since a kid with my Matchbox Legos. I always tell that story. And my Lincoln Logs, I gave them all away. My tracks, I used to have tons of tracks, and that was what my father used to use me to whip me with when I was bad. And he didn't have any more tracks. And like, where's your tracks? I gave them away. So he got the real deal belt, and I got whipped with that. But anyway, that's how it was. I have great parents, by the way. I'm joking when I say that. I did get whipped, though, for that. But anyhow, other than that, let's get back to the Jersey boys right now. We're here with Dave. That's Bayside Dave on Instagram. And we're here with Tommy Monaco. You can find him on Facebook, and that's a.k.a. Tommy Venom, who I know how he got the name right now. He was Van Halen's lead guitarist, so I got it straight now, buddy. Definitely.
That's right. So 100% accurate.
Yes, sir. So I wanna get along with more on Stripers and talk about that. So I want to talk a little bit about the fall season. We talked about the spring and the summer, but heading into the fall season, Tommy, tell me a little bit about the Striper season in the fall. What you look forward to? When does the season actually start over there?
Yeah, I mean, you can get on good fishing in October in Raritan Bay. In October, in Raritan Bay, it's generally pretty good. Last year was a little slower, and that'll, the fishing's good all the way through. I would say the end of November, and there are some years where the fishing, depending on the run, can go well into December and even January. So it really depends. I mean, in my area, it's definitely more of a late November thing. Like the Seaside area really starts to turn on around Thanksgiving weekend, reliably every year. And so, yeah, I mean, it's something I look forward to. Last year was very odd. We didn't have a whole lot of fish at the beach. It was actually the first year that I didn't catch bass in Ocean County, which was unusual. And by December, it was just, totally shut down. But, typically, October, you can bet on Raritan Bay really heating up, and then it's good all the way down the coast through the end of November.
Nice.
And I love being on the beach and surf casting, and throwing big plugs, for big bass. That's what I like to do. I like doing that more than being on a boat. Although I do love, fishing on a boat,
of course,
during the fall too. It's just nothing like being on the beach and ripping a fish out of the ocean.
Without a doubt,
it's the most fun thing in the world.
That is. That is definitely the most.
And throwing big plugs. I actually just got one of the nicest plugs I've ever received in my entire life. Check this bad boy out. This is a Randy Edwards special. He's a New Jersey plug maker. No, I'm sorry. He's a Maryland plug maker. He fishes in New Jersey all the time.
Very cool.
But he just sent this to me. He just started making plugs. The build quality on this thing is amazing. So I like throwing plugs like this and, getting big bass on top of them.
Of course.
Off the surf. I mean, I'm sure
that's
everybody who's listening right now.
That's a nice pencil. You can rip that out a mile, I bet.
You can rip it out a mile. It's probably about 1.5 ounces. I love the blood spatter on the front.
Sure.
The build quality's great. He's only been doing this for like 2 or 3 months. So, I mean,
wow.
For his first swing, I mean, so I'm looking forward to using it. And I just, the fall's where it's at. It's just so much fun. And, to your point earlier about there being a lot of people out there, I mean, it's both, a nuisance and it's awesome at the same time.
Sure.
You can meet and talk to so many different
Absolutely.
people.
I understand what you're saying about the nuisance part. There are people, unlike myself, guys, I like fishing alone too, but the truth is, I just love commodities so much. I love people so much. And, just meeting them and talking, and you can meet a ton of people. There's people fishing, there's people outside the water, people hanging out in their cars, there's people having lunch breaks, there's everything going on those white sandy beaches between Barnegat Lighthouse on the Island Beach State Park side all the way up to Manasquan Inlet. There are people on those beaches. It's quite amazing. I got to see a lot of that last year. I'm a guy that usually gets to a spot and pretty much hangs out there. Yeah, I've chased fish. I've gone fish. I've watched the birds, and I've gone up and down the beaches. But predominantly, I like getting to a spot, and I like fishing it the day. But last year, I was with Delco Joe. I was also with Ed Point, Miguel, and we were with Dom AZ. And I was following them in his truck, and we pretty much covered a lot of stretch of that beach. And that's the first time I really realized, and I said, damn, there are so many Jersey fishermen. I was saying, wow, there's a lot of Jersey fishermen here. And then we get to the next mountain, I was like, wow, there's even more over here. And it was great because you could see them. You know, a lot of these guys will walk out to the sandbars, and you'll see the sandbar might be a stretch of, 40 yards. And along that 40 yards, it's packed with guys, shoulder to shoulder. It's just, it was pretty damn cool, I thought. I loved all that action, all the camaraderie. I did meet quite a few people last year. And at the same time, I saw quite a few people who I knew during that run. But that was a good learning process for me. Right, Joe? But
it got so crowded last year at different points. Yeah. Like Island Beach State Park would shut down. It was just madness. It seems like it's just increasing every year.
Yeah.
Which,
it kind of makes, I'm like, I'm in awe because I'm talking about a 24-mile stretch, actually. And for it to be packed like that, it's quite amazing. That's what I'm talking about. The Jersey fishermen, I don't think gets as much as recognition as some of these people up in the farther northeast. And these guys need recognition. They're out there fishing, man. They're out there doing their thing. And God bless you guys. I hope to see a lot of you guys down there this fall. Even this spring, I might be down there. Definitely without a doubt. Again, I want to say hello to a couple of new people out there. Bobby Gates, how you doing? Once October comes, the fishing rods hibernate and the bow and gun come out for the hunting season. There you go, Bobby Gates. Charles Murray, we had small bass in Lido and Long Island third week in November. There you go. Who else didn't I say hello to out there? If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I also didn't say hello to Ed Point. Miguel, how you doing? Good to see you again. And anybody else I missed, what's up, everybody? Let's go over to Dave a little bit now. Dave, tell me a little bit about that striped bass season in the fall. How is it for you? What are you looking for? I know, Dave, you're one of the lucky ones. You could just look out your window and go, oh, there's a blitz on. Honey, I'm going fishing. Tell me about that.
Yeah, like Tommy said, it usually starts mid-October down here. More so, off of LBI a little bit later than that, actually. But we do get some holdovers that are still here, shooting out to the beaches, shooting into the surf. And I like going super early morning in October down into the first couple weeks of November if I'm gonna fish the island here. I'm lucky I got a nice surf buggy, beach buggy, my pickup that I have. Sure. That I carry all my equipment on, let the air out of the tires, put on the 4-wheel drive and get out to the surf. And I'll drive pretty much the whole island, just trying different holes. Super early morning before first light or at first light, I'll throw like an SP minnow, throw them in the surf. I like to look for the whitewater, those holes that are formed right by the sandbars. Right. Are the spot to target striped bass when you have structure like what we have on LBI with those troughs and everything. The fish come in at the end of those sandbars right where those holes are, and they turn their way up into the trough and they'll scooch around in there. And I'll throw right into that whitewater with the SP minnows. I love the mag darters, even some soft baits. We have the mags, the NLBNs that I really like. Throwing them gets into a little bit deeper water. I don't like bouncing anything off the sand though. I like to throw like an ounce and a half. Maybe a 2 ounce if I have some rough surf. I like to keep it suspended, mid-water column, maybe down towards the bottom. If it does start touching the sand, I'll pop it up, give it a good yank. Sometimes that creates a hit. Bucktails work really well. It all depends on where the fish are feeding and what they're feeding on. I like to have a full bag with me, and I try different things. Mostly swimmers will work. And like Tommy said about topwater, if I can fish for nothing else if I can fish with nothing else but topwater pencils, poppers, spooks, that I love that. I love that stuff. So yeah, we start out like I love the early mornings. I love the late afternoons. I like the outgoing tides. I like to go down maybe a couple hours before high tide hits. Let the high tide hit. Let it change over. Start running out with the outgoing. I like more water. I like more waves. I like more action. I tell you, sometimes I go down to the beach looking to do some fishing, and if I don't see any waves, I'll know I'm not going to get anything.
So tell me,
Bass
Dave.
love it rough. Bass love it rough, man.
Now I know you mentioned your plug. What is your favorite plug when you're fishing for bass? And let's call it a sunrise morning. What's your favorite plug to use out in the fall season?
Well, I always have my my yellow SP minnow. I like throwing that. I like the white. I like the white ones. I always start out with white for some reason, and I do really well with the whites. But for the most part, I love my topwaters. I love my talking poppers, the Tsunami talking popper. I love the. I use the Wonder Bread color. I throw this more than anything, and I do really well with it. So thank you very much. So yeah, I love the topwater stuff, man. But you know, most guys, you know, it's all what you're used to, what you like, what we, you know, bass will hit pretty much anything, you know.
Right.
It all depends on what, you know, are your favorites and what works well for you. You kind of stick with it. You know
I like how you said that what you start out with. So it's not like you're going to go out there and you're going to put on your favorite plug and you're going to start chucking it 100 times and hope that they hit it after the 100 cast. So I like how you said that, you know, you start out with your SP minnow, your white one, then you'll work over to your yellow, and then you'll work onto your plugs, maybe some soft. You try different things until you get them. We all do that, but I like how you started off with, I like to start off with my SB white and then work my way to yellow and continuing on down the line, Dave.
Yeah, that's why it's good to have a decent plug bag with different things in it. Sometimes you'll not be catching anything. You know the fish are there, and you swap it out and you put something else on, and bang. Wow, I didn't realize my chartreuse bucktail is going to work in this situation, but it is. So you got to have all that stuff on you, you know.
Yep.
And I like being mobile. I like having my truck where, you know, especially throwing plugs. You know, you want to find the fish.
No doubt.
So you work a hole for a little while, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 casts. You're not getting any action. Jump in the truck, run down to the next hole. You know, and that's how I do it. Early in the season, you know, I'll venture off the island. Me and Tommy like to go up to the more northern beaches. You know, like you said, early in the season, you get a lot of big fish running out into the Mullica, not the Mullica, the Raritan Bay, and then you got Sandy Hook. We love the beaches off of Sandy Hook up there. Sometimes early in the season, man, we get some good runs of schools run across by those beaches there. We do really well up there early in the season, but down here on LBI, I'd say mid-November, and you were talking about Thanksgiving. That's when it really explodes down here, and well into December down here off the island.
No doubt.
We get some really good runs of fish, striped bass.
Absolutely.
And depending on the temperatures, you know, sometimes that'll run well into January, but you can't target fish off, you know, only off the beach. Is open all year round, but once you get into the inlets and in the bays, you're not allowed to target striped bass anymore. But so you got to stay on the beach in January, and the fish are usually there.
Right.
You know, that late in the season. If the waters are
as far as like South Jersey fishing is concerned, though, like LBI is inconsistent during the fall. Like the best fishing is like the stretch from Raritan Bay down to like Barnegat Light, the north side of Barnegat Light, and then. It's not like you won't be able to find blitzes on LBI. They're just a lot more rare than they are further north. It's almost like the fish just make a hard left. LBI gets a great spring run, and my buddies and I and Dave, we're all looking forward to hitting the beach in a couple weeks and slinging some clam out there. and getting some bigger fish, because you do get those, like, 40 to 50-inch fish that start to migrate up the coast, and it's awesome. But LBI in the fall is like a totally different ball game. You could do okay, like if a Barnegat light, but the further south you go, the more difficult it gets unless you're on a boat.
Right. Well, I want to say something. We do have to quite move it. When I have two guests on the show, it's always kind of sucky for me because, we have to go back and forth. Both of you guys have been super, super terrific tonight. I mean, very good, knowledgeable stuff I got out of you guys. I hope everybody else did, because I'll be using some of those techniques on what I learned tonight from you guys, without a doubt. But before we just let you go, I'm going to ask you guys to say one more thing. Start off with Dave. What would you like to finish this up with, Dave? Anything you want to tell everybody?
Well, I just want to plug the Long Beach Island Spring Derby that's running right now.
Yeah.
Even though we're saying, it's a slow start and all that stuff, but in a couple weeks when the water warms up and like Tommy said, spring fishing for striped bass off the LBI is really well, and this and this derby runs from April 5th to June 22nd. The registration fee is $20, and you can come down to any of the 3 bait and tackle shops on the island here. You got Fisherman's Headquarters, you got Surf City Bait and Tackle, you got Jingles Bait and Tackle. Drop your $20, get your number. And if you catch bass, it's 100% payout. If we end up getting 100 registrations, that means the first place striped bass is going to be $1,000. Second place is going to be $500.
Nice.
Third place is going to be $200. We're also offering just one prize for bluefish. The biggest bluefish caught between now and June 22nd is going to get a $300 cash prize.
Sweet.
Now we're talking about fish in the slot, of course. 28 to 31 inches that you have to bring into the bait shops and have them weighed in and registered. But as far as the larger striped bass are concerned, we opened up the past 2 years. We just since the regulations have started, we want people to score with the big fish. So we have a division called the Surfmaster Award, and that's for fish. Originally it was for fish over 31 inches, but we were getting so many fish that were being handled unnecessarily. It's basically a catch picture photo release thing.
Sure.
Catch the fish, lay it alongside a tape measure that you can read it properly, lined up nice, take a picture, release the fish, send the picture in, and we decide what size it is and blah, blah, blah. So what we were getting was so many fish were being turned in, even though they weren't contending for the lead, that we decided let's just open it up from 38 inches or bigger. That way you're not going to be having a lot of fish that are being mishandled to try to take pictures and blah, 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 because they're not going to win anyway. So we're just going to keep it. The Surfmaster Award is going to be for fish, striped bass, 38 inches or bigger. And whoever scores the biggest fish in that division is going to win a $50 gift card, 3 $50 gift cards, one for each bait and tackle shop, Surf City Bait and Tackle, Fisherman's Headquarters, and Jingles Bait and Tackle.
I'll be down at Fisherman's Headquarters probably, I don't know about tomorrow, but sometime this week I'll be down there. I have to drop off my cards and so on. But
cool. Yeah, they're good people there, man. I work with all these all 3 bait and tackle shop owners and the guys who work there. I'm pretty active down here on the island. I'm on the committee for the Long Beach Island Surf Fishing Classic, which runs the Spring Derby and the Fall Classic. So I run all their social media. I do the Facebook, Instagram. I'm on their marketing subcommittee. So we all work together. We have meetings every month. I work with all the bait and tackle shop owners and the other members of the committee. So I'm pretty active down here. But like I said, even if you guys want to come to the island here and fish for a couple days,
there you go.
Drop your $20. You might catch $1,000 fish.
There you go. Worth it. Dave, thank you so much for being on the show again. I appreciate you very much, but we're not saying our final goodbye yet. We're going to go over to Tommy right now. Tommy, I want you to finish this off. Whatever you want to say to anybody, let it rip, buddy.
Yeah, first, I want to thank you. I mean, I've been watching your show, like I said, for a while.
Man, thank you, buddy.
It's crazy because Yeah, I'm a big fan, and I've always tuned in to listen to and learn from fishermen that I look up to and admire. So for me to be on the show is a real head trip.
Man.
So big thanks. I hope you keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
it's a big benefit to the fishing community. And I just want to give a shout out to the guys that I fish with, my crew, the Mystic Island Misfits.
All right.
We're a ragtag bunch of degenerate fishermen from South Jersey.
We're all degenerates in this goddamn surf fishing world. The Mystic, what are they called?
Yeah,
the Mystic, what are they? The Mystic?
Mystic Island Misfits. Yeah.
Mystic Island Misfits. Whenever I hear the word misfits, I don't know why it reminds me of the goddamn Christmas movie. What were they called? Those misfit toys?
The Island of Misfits.
Oh, yeah.
Island of Misfits.
Oh, the Mystic Eye.
Yeah.
That's us.
There you go, buddy.
100%.
Tommy, thank you so much. That was really nice of what you just said. I appreciate you so much. I never really knew that you even watched the show, but I bet there's a lot of guys that watch and never really pop their heads out on the chat. I don't blame them. Some people like to keep to themselves. It's sometimes it's always a good thing. Thank you so much, Tommy. Thank you so much, Bayside Dave. If you guys want to hang out a minute, we're going to do that giveaway right now. Now, the giveaway, guys, as you know, the giveaway. Here we go. Woo! So the giveaway, guys, is going to be pretty cool. We got 2 seats open for that's Fishing the Atlantic. That's FTA Fishing. We're going to have Calvin call in really quick right now. If you can, Calvin, if you're out there. He might be busy on the boat right now. I don't know, but hopefully he'll give a call in and we'll get him on. There he is right now. Honey, you want to take this?
Oh.
We'll get Calvin on just to give you a little bit update of what he does. And if you guys want to get in touch. Yeah, honey, go ahead. Calvin, we got you?
You got to turn on the
Oh, yeah. Hold on. It should be on, honey. Sorry, guys. It's not on? There you go. Press that. Hold on, guys. 1 second. We'll get together. We'll do it. You have to turn that on. Do you know how to do it? Okay. Let's see. Calvin.
All right. What's up, Mr. P and Mrs. P?
Yes, sir. We finally got you on. Sorry about that delay, and to everybody else. Calvin, how you doing today? I know you are Captain Calvin of the Fishing the Atlantic. This is not just your regular party boat. This is a... Jug, you tell everybody, Calvin.
This is your Northeast Coast Fishing Club right here in New York City. And we have a bunch of wonderful members in our group, and we certainly love what you're doing over there, Mr. P, with the surf community and with all your valuable guests sharing their knowledge, their expertise, their tips. It's everything that we really preach and do over here in FTA. So, not only do you absorb all of that information from your podcast, but it's actually what we also do on our fishing club on a day-to-day, daily basis. So it happens every day. It's a really, really fast-growing club. I'll be honest with you, Mr. P. We started a community group chat, which started last year, kind of just seeing how it was going to go, and it's just explosive right now. We got
not only, and I have to say, Calvin, it didn't only explode. You needed a bigger boat, brother.
Oh, absolutely. So we had to get the 23-foot boat out and the 28-foot boat in, and we went up to an Edgewater. So we definitely have the right platform to just really, really get our members set up for success. I can't wait to have you on the boat. Yep. We're going to get you on this spring for the spring run for the first time.
Can't wait.
And your guests and the lucky winners of today's show.
That's right.
So 2 lucky winners that have been paying attention. And I do know your guests pay attention because they pick up on all the cues, just like the tips on the water.
Yes,
and that's
sir.
what it's about.
Calvin,
it takes,
Calvin, I want you to tell everybody out there, if they wanted to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so the best way to get in touch is I'm very, very active on Instagram. That's our #1 platform right now. So Fishing the Atlantic on IG_ is how you can locate our page. We also have a YouTube channel as well, which we'll be sharing our local outings on and, our outing and so forth. So that's also on YouTube. If you want to join a club, you can also go to our website. Everything is Fish in the Atlantic. So it's plain and simple, www.fishintheatlantic.com. You can reach out to me and send me a DM on Instagram. I'm very responsive. I check my messages. So anybody that wants to join, we'll set you up. And I'll tell you what we're going to really do today, actually. And I just thought about that. Normally it's $150 for the adventure package, $200 for the Mariner package. And the difference is that, the Mariner package gets you a fancy and luxurious catch and cook, as well as some awesome team merch like a hoodie or a hat or something.
It's fantastic.
So you can wear and
Absolutely.
represent. But it doesn't stop there. Instead of $150 and $200 for those packages, anybody from your show or participating, it's going to be $100 and $150. So it'll only be $100 to join the adventure package. We're going to hook you guys up, and girls, anybody listening that wants to get involved. We want everyone, to get involved. So we'll make it a little more affordable. I'm very, very, positive about our group and experience, and content that everyone's going to love it. So that's why the main thing is I want people to understand what they're going to get. And one of our members, Gorilla Ange, actually did a great job kind of just highlighting all the membership perks, and he did that through a post last week, which I also shared, which really nailed a lot of the benefits of becoming a member. So although you pay into it, I made it a point to give it all right back plus more.
You heard that, guys. Right? You heard that. Yep. Captain Calvin right here live.
So it's a cheap fee to just see that you're committed with us and that, you want to get some skin in the game, but in return, you're going to get a lot more. We're going to give you tips.
Absolutely.
Just like you get on a show, we're going to help you. And even if you're experienced, we're going to expand your network because, listen, all right, so you have your spots. We have great discounts at our tackle shops. If you want a Van Staal VS 150, guess what? I'll get you one less than retail, and that's what we do for our members. So everyone saves, everyone wins. We know times are rough. Not everyone has a lot of money to go around. So that's when these discounts really kick into place. Not only to mention the 15 party boats and charter boats spread out within Northeast, that we want to give our members the option to fish in different areas, different fisheries. We have local fishermen that like to fish locally and conveniently, and then we have trophy hunters that want to go down to Rhode Island, and we have a couple of members that have lined to one of the biggest boats, six-pack down in Rhode Island, like Bad Influence, and other charters like Bounty Hunter. And we get these spots that we announce on our group chat and say, hey, someone dropped out, they're looking for one or two spots, and that's your opportunity to get in on a trip where they land a lot of double-digit fluke or blackfish, depending on the season, and it really puts the fisherman in a serious position to catch that trophy fish.
Absolutely.
That's what he's targeting, right?
Guys, you are hearing this live on the Mr. Poseidon live stream. We got Calvin on a quick call-in. He just gave you guys some great information. What you do is you join. You can get on different levels, and your packages will be different every time you go out fishing with him. And he really does work with you. He's a wonderful guy. He does have a piece of Poseidon's heart in him. I can hear it. And what do I mean by that? He's a giving guy. So please, if you got time, at least give him a little chat. Let him explain more in detail. Right now, we're going to do that giveaway. And again, I want to thank Dave, Bayside Dave, for coming on to the show, and Tommy Monaco, that's Tommy Venom, for being on the show. So here we go with the first question. Now, guys, listen, if you're not going to go on this trip, it's May 13th. It's 5 or 6 p.m. departure. We'll know at least a week in advance exactly what time. But 5 to 6 p.m. Departure, and that'll be a 4-hour trip. Calvin assured me that if we are on 60, 70, 80-pound bass out there, we're not going anywhere. We'll fish for an extra hour. Calvin is that type of guy. He's a good guy. But remember, we all have secondary jobs. I do not make my living off this. By far, this is something a little extra that I do for the surf fishing community. So let's start off with that first question. Guys, I hope you've been taking notes. If you get the question right, you'll have one seat reserved for you. Now, listen, we take it as it comes up on my computer. Whoever answers first on my computer is the guy that's going to win. Not who comes up first on your computer. It's who comes up first on my computer. That's the way the game is played, okay? I'm just clarifying that, because I don't want to see 15 people show up that morning and go, I won that seat. But anyway, no, that's not going to happen. But anyhow, all right. First question is, now, this one is in reference to Tommy Monaco, and that's a.k.a. Tommy Venom. Guys, here is the question. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes, they're ready, honey. I think so. Also, I'd like to thank Dom AZ and Charles Murray for their recent super chat. Thank you, guys. We can use every penny we get. It'll all be put back into the Montauk and Jersey Striper Challenge this year. Thank you so much, guys. First question, in reference to Tommy Mann. What's that, honey?
Monaco.
Tommy Monaco. Sorry about that. What is his favorite lure that he likes using? It's in the two-part question now, so answer it correctly. Good luck. Go ahead. That's all you get. You got to know.
Do you want to tell me so I can help you look?
You guys are answering only a part of it. It's got to be exactly what he wrote here. I'll give it to you so far. Okay, there it is. Churchwood, SS Bucktail with a gulp. You got that. You're on the boat, Churchwood. I'll see you as the first winner. A lot of you guys answered half correctly. You wrote Bucktail, and I did tell you it's in a two-part. Dave Matthews, you came super close. SS Bucktail with a teaser. I got you, Dave. I got you right here. I'll show you. Every week I put it on the side. Dave, it's waiting for you. It's right here, Dave. I got you, buddy. When I see you, you get that, buddy. I know I told you I would give you it. So when I see you and I finally get to you.
Is that a Super Strike Darter?
Yeah, that's a Super Strike Darter that I won at the... No, this is the Montauk one. Where's the other one?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, damn it. Every time I have it here, and then I lose it for about a week, and then here it is.
Oh, boy.
Here it is. I got it.
He's like, I believe you.
So this is like, it's a Super Strike Darter. It's the Surf Rats Balls Zigzag Darter, which I won there. It's a pink-purple mackerel, 2 3/4 ounce. And on the bottom, it's got the signature SRB 2024. This was one of the lures that I won. Dave collects. So I told Dave, it's yours. No money involved. That's the way Mr. Poseidon is, right? He used to give away my Matchbox and all that kid stuff. But anyway, I do it now still. I know you believe me, Dave. All right, so basically the winner is, again, let's write down the winner's name, is Churchwood. You win, buddy. We'll see you on the boat that morning. That's the 13th. Or that evening, 5 or 6. We'll be in touch so we can verify that you'll definitely be on the boat. Okay, now, question number 2. So this one is obviously referring to Dave. That's Bayside Dave. So Dave had mentioned earlier, what is his favorite plug or lure that he likes to use? Let it rip, guys. There was one that he said specifically. Come on, guys. Okay, what? Okay, there it is. Dave Matthews, you got that one, you bastard. What? SP Minnow White, he got it. So there you go. That was close to the other guy who answered, Joseph Kiley. You almost got it, man. It's the white one, but because he said he goes, his first is SP Minnow White, and then he'll move on to the yellow, and then whatever else he uses after that. And I know he's wrote. That's the one he likes to start up with. So congratulations to the 2 winners, Dave Matthews and Churchwood. Dave, I'll see you on the boat. Can't wait to see you. We're going to have a good time. You'll guarantee that you'll also get your lure that I owe you. Guys, everybody out there, thank you so much for coming to my freaking show every week, every Sunday. Let's also say goodbye to our friend Calvin. You still there? Calvin,
yeah, I'm here.
Calvin left.
I'm here, Mr. P.
Yes, sir. We just want to say thank you. So we got the 2 winners. We're gonna have Churchwood,
absolutely,
and David Matthews on. 2 great guys who've been following my channel for a while. Thank you to both you guys. We'll see you on the boat.
Congratulations to the winners.
Oh, absolutely. And we'll see you, Calvin. I want to say thank you to you because I know what you're doing here, Calvin. These are great prices. I appreciate it. I did buy the 2 remaining spots on the boat, and you gave them to me at a good price that I couldn't resist. Thank you so much, Calvin, for what you do for the fishing community. Thank you, everybody out there. Thank you. D-Bar, what's up, buddy? You're the man, D-Bar. So thank you, Calvin, and we'll be talking soon enough, buddy.
You got it.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Calvin.
Calvin, a great guy. Let's say goodbye to our stars of the show tonight. That's Bayside Dave and Tommy Monaco. Thank you guys for both being on. I'm definitely going to have you guys both back on, whether it's alone or both together again. It was a great show. I love talking Jersey fishing with you guys. You guys are great. Thanks again so much, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, everybody, for being on the show tonight. Congratulations to Dave Matthews. Congratulations to Church Wood. It's going to be a great trip. I can't wait for this one.
Nice.
It's going to be a rocking time. Honey, I'm going to throw you off the roof after this show. Let me tell you. Hey, guys, thank you.
Dave.
Thank you so much.
Tommy.
And we'll
Thanks
see you
for
guys
coming
again
on.
next Sunday.
Thanks
God bless you guys.
Of course.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Woo, let's go, let's go. Let's do that dance.